Like so many people, I struggle with dry eyes, and today I'm having a Tweakment to address this. Now, dry eyes is when your eyes feel gritty and tired, but it's also when they water far too much. And I've come to the door in W4 to meet Sharon Flora, who's an optometrist with great experience in treating dry eye, to talk about it and try this new treatment called Envision, which uses radiofrequency and IPL just around the eyes to unblock the glands that get all blocked up. She'll explain all this and we'll show you the treatment too. So come along with me, we'll see how it is. Sharon, what is dry eye? Because so many of us suffer from it, so few people know exactly what it is.
Dry eye can actually be characterised as two different types. So the first type is when you are aqueous deficient, which basically means when the eyes aren't producing enough tears across the surface of the eye. The second type is when evaporative dry eye disease. Nearly 80% of patients tend to have that type of dry eye. And it's basically when the oils of the eye, there's insufficient oils, so the tears are evaporating on the surface of the eye.
And does that mean that your eyes then water a lot?
Yes, absolutely. There's this very common misconception, you know, how can I have dry eyes if my eyes are watery? So that is absolutely due to evaporative dry eye disease. And that's basically when the meibomian glands of our eyes, which are these delicate little glands that line up on the upper and the lower lid on the base of the eyelashes. So normally, every time we blink, these delicate little glands would release healthy olive oil type liquid across the surface of the eye. When we have meibomian gland dysfunction, it's either because the glands have died off, they've atrophied, or perhaps they're not functioning as well as they should, possibly even blocked. So what happens is when we blink, there's insufficient oil surrounding the surface of the eye, which then means the tears behind the oils are evaporating and drying out.
And how common is dry eye?
So dry eye is very common. Many patients are even asymptomatic, which it tends to be in the very kind of early stages. And when you kind of get to the moderate to severe, most patients then are kind of symptomatic. Typical symptoms include redness of the eyes, sore eyes, itchy eyes. Believe it or not, it can even affect your vision. So it can even cause fluctuations in vision when upon waking get itchy or gritty eyes. And that can also be due to a certain type of like blepharitis demodex. It's a certain kind of mite that lives on the eyelashes and eyelid area. We all have it on our skin. A certain population is fine, but typically in patients with rosacea, they tend to be more prevalent. But it's when they kind of overpopulate, especially around the eyelid and eyelash area, they can kind of burrow in the glands and kind of cause further blockage. And they really thrive on dark environments. So that's why at night they tend to be more active. They lay eggs and they can multiply quite quickly. So it's quite important that we manage that amongst the eyes as well to reduce the symptoms of dry eyes.
And all of this lubricating the eye and blinking, it's something that we should be doing quite naturally. So what is it that makes those meibomian glands get blocked up?
Dry eye disease is a multifactorial condition. It's a chronic disease. So there are a number of factors that come into it, but let's just say your average person day-to-day life, excessive screen use. We tend to be on our screens a lot, phones, laptops, computers. So a really good thing would be consciously making the effort to blink. So blinking often and full, complete, frequent blinks, because you really are pumping those oils across the surface of the eye. Other things we can do at home are things like drinking more water, making sure we're hydrated. And also really good quality omega-3 supplements that are specific for brain and eye health really help those oils get to a more clearer consistency.
If we have dry eyes and we don't do anything to treat it, do they just go on getting worse?
Yes, it's a chronic disease, so it will just progressively get worse. The layer behind your tears is where your cornea is. Okay, so that's the most kind of sensitive part. That's kind of like the clear window of your eye. It's fascinating because it's the only part of the body which is avascular, meaning there's no
veins in it.
The only way it really gets its oxygen is through the front surface of the eye via the tears. Okay, so if we're lacking in all that, we really are also depriving our cornea of oxygen.
Okay.
So the long-term effects, there's a higher risk of corneal inflammation, abrasions, keratitis, a whole host of other things. So the reason we really want to protect that front layer of the eye, the tears and the oils, is so that we are also protecting that cornea.
Sure. When people talk about lid hygiene, what's that and where does it come into it?
We regularly brush our teeth morning and night. We'll go and see our dentist or dental hygienist regularly to get the plaque removed from our teeth, and it's absolutely something we should be doing for our eyelid and eyelash hygiene as well. So morning and night, using either eyelid wipes, or you can get some great kind of Zocular gel foam, which kind of removes any kind of microbes, debris, bacteria on the surface
from the
of
lid
the
roots.
Yeah, from the eyelid area, the eyelashes especially. And it's something really we should be doing at home as well in terms of morning and night lid hygiene.
One thing people don't know, I certainly didn't know, was that you can come into a clinic for a treatment that can treat dry eye in quite a comprehensive and fundamental way. I mean, this new Envision treatment, could you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we use in our clinics, the in-mode Envision device features IPL technology and radiofrequency technology, which is the Lumica eye and Former eye, specifically to target the root cause of dry eye disease.
Okay, so radiofrequency, that will be heating around the eye, actually heating up the glands that are blocked.
Yeah, so the Former eye fits beautifully around the periorbital area. What we're really doing is it acts as thermal heat. So that RF technology, we're really generating heat. We typically do it 10 minutes per eye. So the oils are getting to the required temperature of between 42 to 43 degrees.
Is that comfortable?
It is
absolutely a bit
hot. It's not hot. I would say it's warm.
Okay.
So many have said like it feels more like a hot stone massage. Yeah. So it's very comfortable. Typically, once the oils are heated up after IPL and radiofrequency, I would then get the patient under the slit lamp microscope, and then we would basically try and squeeze out all the blocked oils, which I find very satisfying. I must say.
Dr. Pimple Popper for eyes, isn't it?
That's exactly
what
it.
Are you using to squeeze the oils out? Do you do it with hands? Do you have a device?
So a combination, but generally just gentle forceps. And it is really gentle anyway, and we go at the patient's pace.
I'm going to try this,
So, but the beauty about it is I know if we have a good expression, the patient will really reap the reward once they leave our clinic.
Sure. Now there's IPL as well. How does that fit into it?
Yeah, so IPL it stands for intense pulsed light.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know it's used in dermatology. The main kind of benefit of that, it really helps reduce the vascular inflammation, which is actually driving the dry eyes, the vicious cycle.
The redness of the tiny blood vessels.
Yeah. Typically, say we have our weeds growing from the garden. No matter what we do, it's so hard to bring.
They will come back.
They all keep coming back, no matter what you do. But we know to get to the root cause, to stop the weeds coming, we need to get to the root, don't we? So it's a little bit how the vascular inflammation is happening, not any different from when we have rosacea on our face, and ocular rosacea is what we'd call it around the eyelid area, the kind of red leaky vessels. So the IPL really helps bring that inflammation down, the redness, kind of like the thin branches. Then what that actually means that there is a clearer path for the oils to feed up the meibomian glands more efficiently, because at the moment the overgrowth of vessels is obstructing their path. It's inflamed.
Are you treating on the eyelid and under the eye?
Yeah, many patients have this misconception that I'm going to do something with the eyes open, or we're going to perform some kind of surgery. So the amazing thing about the treatment is it's non-surgical, it's pain-free, and it's safe. So typically we would cover your eyes with laser shields. So the area we actually treat is the skin around the eyes, so the upper and the lower eyelid. Typically most patients, we would start off with a course of 4 sessions, spaced spaced anything from 3 to 6 weeks apart.
Okay.
Most patients then would require a maintenance session, anything from 6 to 12 months. Okay. But of course that can vary from patient to patient and also upon the severity. After treatment 1 and 2, I'm not expecting too much. You know, we've got to be patient with it, and it's all baby steps. You know, if you think about it, it's years and years of gland atrophy. It's unlikely one treatment's going to give us any drastic improvement.
Okay.
But after 3, treatment 4, we will start getting start getting some kind of movement in the meibum, which is the oil quality.
You were talking about the things that make dry eye worse. There's quite a lot, particularly for women, in the kind of cosmetic area, from the stuff we put on our eyes to wearing contact lenses. What are the key offenders there?
So yes, another factor we did touch on was contact lens wearers tend to be at increased risk of dry eye. A piece of plastic essentially is just going to dehydrate the surface of the eye. Another reason perhaps why women could be at increased risk of dry eyes for sure is also unaware of the cosmetics, mascara, eyeliner we're putting around our eyes. I mean, when many women I find are unaware the fact that, you know, when we're tight lining our eyes
straight over
the waterline. So using like pencil
straight
eyeliner.
over the meibomian glands.
Absolutely. So we're obstructing our meibomian glands.
And what about lash growth serums, which I'm always being told off for using by eye surgeons?
They contain ingredients called prostaglandin analogues. They are detrimental to the meibomian glands. They can also cause orbital fat loss around the eyes as well. So which means that the eyes can actually look more sunken and kind of darker areas around the eyes.
Any other particular things we do to our eyes that make it all worse?
I think most of it has to do with hygiene, making sure that we're regularly cleaning our lashes, an area around the eyes. If you must wear eyelash extensions, just making sure that you're regularly cleaning them with a good eyelash foam. And also the LVLs, what you call like the lash lifts as well. There's chemicals in there which can be detrimental to the meibomian glands. The perms,
Oh dear.
Which could, so I know it's not anything you want to hear, but there are chemicals in there that can actually disrupt the tear film as well. So, but you know, like I said, it's all about it has to be a lifestyle change. When we're going to kind of really look at a holistic view to kind of get to the other side from dry eyes.
So that was my first session of Envision, which uses the RF, which uses IPL around the eyes. So thank you very much. You know, and you got a good expression of the meibomium as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we've had a great result after a first session. Because like I said, wouldn't normally expect too much, but we had a really good gland expression for the first session.
And now I need 3 more sessions, and then we'll really know where we've got to.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.